work out the most missed questions from your 60 problem multiple choice. That was based off of the most missed questions from the 124 multiple choice questions that you started with. All right. Number 7, least common multiple, LCM. It's the same idea as the lowest common denominator if these were denominators. So I have 12 and 9. The easiest way to me is you ask if 9 goes into 12. If it doesn't, then 12 is out. So I doubled 12 to 24. Does 9 go into 24 evenly? No, it doesn't. So I triple 12 to 36. Does 9 go into 36? Yes, it does. So the answer is 36. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, you can break it down with prime factorization. Okay, so we have prime factorization of 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. And the prime factorization of 9 is 3 times 3. And then what you do is you look for common numbers in each. Well, there's only one common pair right here. And I have to therefore take all the rest that are there. So that's the 2 times the 2 times the 3. And I take one of each circled pair I have. So there's one pair of 3, so I take 1 3 there. I multiply all that together, and you get 4 times 9 is 36. And that's the other way of using prime factorization. Okay, if you ever need to, I'm just going to keep going, erase and go on, but you can obviously rewind the video, pause it, and write down what you need to write down. All right, number 8. Least common multiple of 6c squared d and 9cd. So with 6 and 9, again, I go to 6 going to 9, no. Double 9 to 18, to 6 going to 18, yes, it does. So 18 is for the numbers. And then I have to take the most of each variable. So that has 2 and that only has 1, so I take the c squared. And then for the d's, they both have 1, that's the most 1. And there's your answer. So if I do 18c squared divided by 9cd, I would get 2c. If I do 18c squared d divided by 6c squared d, I get 3. So they both divide in evenly. Okay, so you can see that works. Number 9, I have 3r over 2s equals x over 6r s squared. I have a proportion here. It's called a proportion, a ratio that equals another ratio, or a fraction that equals another fraction. It's called a proportion. Solve all proportions by cross multiplying and set them equal to each other. Don't forget to set equal to each other. So I have x times 2s equals, I'm just going to multiply them all together now, 18 r squared, because I have 2 r's there, and s squared. Remember, I'm solving for x, so that means I'm going to go ahead and divide by the 2s, because remember, x times 2s, the opposite operation is division. So that cancels out, so I get x equals 9. One of these s's canceled out with one of those s's, so now I'm still left with the r squared and s. And there's your answer, which then is B, right there. Okay, again, pause it if you need to. I'm going on to the next page. Okay. 13 here, the least common denominator. It's the same idea that we're just doing. I have 4 over 3xy and 3 over 2y squared. So I'm comparing what's the least common multiple, that's another name for the least common denominator of those two. Okay, so least common multiple for 2 and 3 is 6. If I take the most, there's one x there and there's none in the other, and there's one y here and there's two y's. So I have to take the two y's, the most. Okay, 6xy squared, which is c. Now I'm going to add two fractions. So I'm now putting together, applying this to fractions. 23, 2/3 plus 7/8. Get my common denominator between 3 and 8. That's 24. Least common multiple. And how do I make equivalent fractions? Well, 3 times what is 24? 8. So whatever I do in the numerator, I must also do the denominator, vice versa. So I get 16 there. And 8 times 3 is 24. So I multiply by 3 up top. 7 times 3 is 21. And why do I do that? Because 3 divided by 3 is 1. 8 divided by 8 there is 1. So I'm really multiplying 2/3 times 1. I'm not changing the fraction at all. It's called the equivalent fraction. So now I'm adding 16 plus 21 is 37 over 24. I'll look for that answer that's not there, but they go ahead and convert it to a mixed number right here. 24 goes into 37 one time with 13 remaining, and the denominator doesn't change. 1 and 13/24. If that 13/24 reduced, I would need to reduce it, but it does not. Okay, next one, 24. Okay, x over 4 minus 2y over 3. Again, the common denominator between 3 and 4 would be 12. 3 times what is 12? 4, so I multiply the numerator by 4. 4 times 3 is 12, so I multiply the numerator by 3 in this one. So I get 3x and I get 8y. And it's subtraction. So I have 3x minus 8y all over 12. There's my answer. Okay, pause it if you need to, copy it down before going on to the next one. Okay, 27. 12 and 3/8 minus 7 1/2. Okay, so common denominator is 8. Common denominator is 8, so that makes that 4. 12 minus 7 is 5. 3 minus 4 is -1. 8. Okay, now that says 5 minus 1/8. 5 minus 1/8 is 4 7/8. In middle school and elementary school, you wouldn't deal with that. You'd have to convert it to improper fraction because you didn't know negative numbers, so you couldn't do that. Well, now that you know negative numbers, I can do 5 minus the 1/8, which gives me 4 7/8. So that's a quicker way of doing it. Okay. 28. You can always go back and change it to improper fractions and do it that way and then convert it. That's fine. I'm just showing you a quicker way. Larry studied 1 3/4 more hours than Alan. If Larry studies 5 1/4 hours, so substitute it in, how many hours did Alan study? So Alan, all I've done in the answer key is replace the A with an N. So where do you see N plus 1 3/4 equals 5 1/4? Right there. 29. Alice studied 1 1/2 few hours than Joan. So Alice studied 1 1/2 hours fewer than Joan. So Joan minus 1 1/2. Okay, if Alice studied 5 3/4, so substitute 5 3/4 in for that, it goes J minus 1 1/2. Now, of course, the J is just the N in here, so we look for it. We're going to see N minus 1 1/2. N minus 1 1/2 equals 5 3/4 right there. Okay, next. There were 36 jackets on sale at the regular price. Or 36 jackets on sale for 3/4 of the regular price. 3/4 of the regular price is the key. The 36 jackets, that doesn't matter when it comes to this question. If the regular price is $24, what was the sale price? So it's 3/4 of means times in math. The regular price was 24. Put that as 24/1. 4 cancel the 24 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. Sale price is 18. Oh, we weren't solving it. So we need to do 3/4 times 24 equals n. We're solving for the n here. 3/4 of 24. Okay, 32. 2 1/2, which is 5/2, times 13/8, because we're doing 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. Change to improper fraction. There is no cross canceling here, so we multiply straight across. 65/16. We don't see it written like that, but we can convert that to a mixed number. 65/16 is 4 1/16. And do we see 4 1/16 here? Yes, we do. C. 33. 9/5 divided by, don't forget division means multiplication by the reciprocal. So 7/10 becomes 10/7. And now we do have cross canceling. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 into 10 twice. We get 18, multiplying across now, over 7. Is 18/7 there? No, it's not. Again, they change it, sorry, to mixed numbers. That's going to be 2 and 4/7 as a mixed number. Now on the test, this just gives you, ask for the answer. You could leave it as 18/7. You do not have to change it to a mixed number on the test. But 2 and 4/7, which is A right there. Okay. So there's your, we've done multiplication, adding, subtraction of fractions. Okay. Next. 49 here. The quotient of a number, so we don't know what that is, called x, and 6 is -18. Okay, and so we're looking for that, and I use x the same as n. There's it. There it is right there. All right, that does it. Know how to do these for your test and for your next practice, the one you're currently working on as well. But you'll see some of these just like this with different numbers on your test. 13 minute.